Hey dudes, CI here. So it's a theme week, and this week's theme is story time. Zoa told us a Greek story. Lacey told us a story. It was just a joke. It was a good story. It was a good joke. I am going to tell a true story, something that actually happened to me. I hope I can tell it well. When I was in the Navy, I was stationed in Italy, and I was stationed on an island. There was a ship there stationed on the island, and I was on land, and it was very nice. Tiny little island called La Maddalena. And La Maddalena had beautiful beaches, beautiful water. It was really kind of a holiday destination. In the summertime, it would just explode with numbers, you know? Be a little tiny town in the wintertime, and then in the summer, everybody came. All the people from Italy and Germany and Spain and wherever. And so while I was there, you know, we'd hit the beaches, we'd go swimming in the clear waters, we'd do all the stuff. And there was this one thing you could do where you could rent a boat. It was like a small boat, like a Zodiac boat or a rib boat, like one of those inflatable rubber boats. You know the kind I'm talking about? It's got a motor on the back of it, and it's got a steering wheel to run the motor. They called it a gommone. That's the Italian word for it. And so one day in the summertime, beautiful day, sunny, hot, all that, me and my friend Aaron decided we're going to rent a gommone and go out for the day. Now, one of my best friends was in town visiting, so she came along, and Aaron's sister was there, so she came along, so it was the four of us, and we all had our swimsuits on, and lots of sunscreen, and take water, and we go rent the gommone, and we're just puttering around. And it was a blast. It was a great day. Because the water's really clear and it's sunny and it's beautiful. Oh, let's go over to that island there. Oh, what's over there? Okay, all over the place. And then, okay, let's go over to that beach. Oh, Aaron and Amanda want to go jump off this cliff. I'll never forget that. That might have been the best thing for them that day, but it was horrifying for me. Watching them climb up these rocks, and then I couldn't even watch. I wasn't even doing the jumping. I literally could not watch them jump into the ocean. It was terrifying. But anyway, it was a good day. And at one point we went off this thing. We got into this really shallow area, and we hit the propeller accident. We got a little too shallow, and the propeller started hitting rocks. And we were really scared about that because we knew we were worried we were going to get charged for it when we got back. They'd pull the propeller out of the water and they'd see all the nicks and cuts on it that we'd done, and they'd be like, they're going to charge us. But they didn't. They didn't even look at the propeller when we got it back to the rental place, so that was cool. But the most interesting thing that happened that day was when we were going really fast. And it was fun to be out there on the open water, going really fast. The outboard motor's behind us. And we're up there doing all sorts of fun things. And push it, Aaron. Let's go as fast as we can. Hauling ass. And doing fun stuff. Oh, here comes a wave. Here comes a swell. Let's hit it. And it was a great fun. And Aaron was driving the boat. And I don't know where the girls were. I think they were in the middle of the boat. I was up by the front. Who knows why? Maybe I was pretending to be Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was just being silly and having fun and getting way up in the front. And I was like, hey there! And I saw him, and there were some swells up ahead, and he was sort of slaloming back and forth, slaloming, and going as fast. And I see him. He sees this swell up ahead, and I can tell he's going to cut it hard to one side and then back to the other side. And you could hear the engine, like it made this noise, and both of us looked back, and he had somehow done something so that the engine had come loose and was falling off of the boat into the ocean. So I'm all the way at the front of the boat, and I race to the back of the boat, and Aaron races too, and we dive after it. And I actually was halfway out of the boat, and he had grabbed my ankle so I wouldn't fall, and I was holding this outboard motor so it wouldn't fall deeper into the ocean, and my arms were down in the ocean holding it, and the girls are like, what is happening? And my son, pull me back in, and they're like, and I've got this engine, this outboard motor in my hand, and we pull it up, and I get it back into the boat, and it was terrifying, and it almost dropped to the bottom, and we were all just sort of in shock, and laughing, and also horrified, and wondering what the hell we were going to do. So we loaded onto the back of the boat, and we sort of try and tie it down. And Aaron, of course, feels like a dumbass, because he did it. He was being a little too rough with the boat. The damn engine fell off the back. And so we put it back on, and we try and get it. and it won't start because it's flooded. I mean, it was in the water. It's flooded with salt water. And we're like, fuck a duck. What are we going to do? And, oh, there's these paddles. Can we paddle? I think there were paddles. And we start trying to paddle our way back, but there's a lot of breeze and the currents, and we're getting nowhere. And eventually, I think we flagged down a boat. It was like a sailboat, but they had an engine. And they were French, as I recall. Yeah, we couldn't speak French. We spoke some Italian and we spoke English, but they were French, and we figured it out, and they threw us a line and they towed us back to shore, and they took us to this place, and we got the engine kind of fixed, and they put new spark plugs in, and it was a happy ending. We made it back. But days like that are fun because you have this utter disaster that sort of ends up being the best thing that happened that day. When we look back on that day and you ask, what was the best thing you did that day? It wasn't going around into the beautiful waters, and it wasn't watching Aaron and Amanda jump off the cliff, and it wasn't any of that stuff. The thing that we will always remember was when Aaron made the engine fall off the back of the boat, and we had to dive in and hold me by my ankles to keep me from falling in. That's what we will always remember, the near disaster with the engine on this boat. And that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see all of you next week.